Hi guys, hi Facebook, hi Instagram. Got both of you going, it looks like. I'm just going to share this. I'll mention our, there we go, mention our topic today. So tomorrow is the start of a new month. I don't know about you guys, but February and March, January as well, January, February, and March are 3 months where I really am excited to create new healthy habits, to goal set. December, I find it's just all about, relaxing, enjoying the holidays, trying to do healthier versions of that. So that's usually my focus. Then once we get into these winter months, it's trying to up level my life, trying to create new healthy habits that are going to stick. And then hopefully by the spring and summer, we start to, we're not quite as ambitious with new goals and all that, but the plan is that hopefully the habits that you've created earlier on are going to stick throughout the summer. Like summer, I don't know, for me, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, likely you're not as much into creating as many new healthy habits. It's a lot more about enjoying the outdoors. I do have some habits that I do like to to work on in the summer as well, but this is like the biggest time where I really dial it in and try to focus on up-leveling my lifestyle and things like that. So we're going to talk about that today. Tomorrow's the start of a new month, so I'm going to challenge you to challenge yourself to pick something to focus on for the month. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Often I used to do the 30-day challenges when I had Inspired Mama, and but this month, I want you to figure out, and I'm going to go through that, how to figure out what's going to be the thing that you should challenge yourself with this month. 1 or 2 things, why it's important not to have a ton of things to focus on. And what else was I going to say with that? Anyways, that's what we're going to talk about. Figure out what you're going to challenge yourself with. Create over the next month, you're going to turn that into a habit that sticks, becomes more subconscious. It's just kind of your go-to thing. And then the next month you add on to that, you create a new healthy habit. So think about maybe you haven't really been into creating habits, or maybe you haven't done it in a strategic way, versus if now start doing this. Think about the difference you can make in 6 months, in a year. So look at yourself. Say you want picture yourself at December 31st next year, or even like June, what is it, 30th, 31st, June 30th, I think, like being ready for summer, whenever your sort of goal date is. Picture yourself where you can be if you sort of take up this, not explaining it very well, but start up this sort of habit challenge journey. So I'm just going to share this. Just give me 1 second to share this to the community, and then we'll dive into it. But start up this sort of habit challenge journey. So I'm just going to share this. Okay, I'll mute that. Looks like we're working. Say hi if you're on. I always feel like I'm just talking to myself. So say hi. Let me know you're there. So I wrote down a couple things just so I'm not too off track. And let me know if do you have a goal that you're focusing on right now? Maybe you aren't real sure yet. Maybe you'll have a better idea at the end of this live video. So the main topics today I'm going to talk about are: what small habits are you going to create this month? What are you going to challenge yourself to do over the next 31 days? March has 31 days, I believe. So what are you going to challenge yourself to do? So I love to talk about whatever I am personally going through, whatever I'm personally loving right now. So like I said, December, I shared the healthier treats and all that. Right now, I am in I want to say that because I'm sort of, I don't know what the right word is, manifesting it, but my goal is to be in sort of a state of transformation in a few different levels. Right now, my go-to is to want to change like every different habit. I don't know if you guys are like me. If you want to change some things, then it's like, okay, I want to change all this, and then it becomes too overwhelming. and you do good for a little while with everything, and then you just kind of fail with it all. You just kind of give up with it all too much. So that's one area I'm going to talk about as well. The importance of focusing on one thing at a time, one or two things. I struggle with just one, so I give myself one or two. So we're going to talk about that. But first, before you do that, we need to look at what are your main goals. So before we say, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to drink 2 liters of water a day, which is my February challenge, and I'm kind of continuing on. That's become a bit of a habit, a pretty good habit. I still need to focus on it a little bit. So that's going to continue on into March. So before you decide on that, we first need to know, what is your ultimate goal with all of this? For me, I want to up-level my health at another level. Like I said last time, about 6 years ago, I had a huge health transformation. Before then, I felt so crappy. I was so tired, and I just kind of use the term I felt so crappy because it was like pretty much every different area. And often that happens. If something's out of whack, then everything's out of whack. If you fix something, then often so say you've got skin issues. If you fix that, get to the root cause with that, often you'll notice you have more energy, you lose weight. So it kind of all goes together. But anyways, my last big health journey was about 6 years ago. So I'm trying to up level that right now. I'm really dialing it in. Want to take it to the next level. So for me, with drinking 2 liters, that being one goal to get there, 2 liters of water a day, is to up level my health, to feel better, to lose. I have a few pounds to lose that I'd like to lose. Before, like 6 years ago, actually even before then, I should say it this way. I used to be probably like 25 to 30 pounds heavier, and I am only like 5 feet tall. So that's a lot on me. So I kind of went through that journey years ago, and right now I want to up level it. I have about 5 to 10 pounds that I want to lose, to be in the best shape. So I don't know how to pronounce your name. But yes, more water, less coffee. Yildiz? Yes, more water, less coffee. Okay, so that's me too, as I drink my coffee this morning. So where was I at with that? I've got a nice quiet house today, but I'm like less focused today than I was when I had kids running around and distracting me. So yeah, let me know your goals. I love hearing. Close enough. Okay, sorry, I'll figure it out sometime. Anybody else want to share their goals? I'd love to know. So we're focusing on small goals for March. So let's see where I was. We want to break it. We want to figure out our big goals. So I feel like I already know my main goals, kind of what I want. I did that practice in January. If you're in the membership, you can go back to January, and we have a whole 5-day challenge, 5-day video series. You can figure that out. But if you're not in the membership, I'll kind of go over a couple things. So take some time. So this is important, to take some time. If you right now are watching this and you're busy doing something, or you've got kids, come back to this. Maybe wake up early, give yourself an hour, or maybe you're at home with kids and they take an afternoon nap. Come back to this, or even if you don't come back to this, take some time with a pad of paper and some pens and work on this a little bit. So know what your big goals are. What do you ultimately want? Like I said, don't just say you want to drink 2 liters of water when you don't really know why you want, what is gonna come from that. So what are your big goals? So I'm gonna share. So main goals could be something like, I think I wrote something down. Main goals, something like, so what's your main goals and how do you want to feel, is another thing. So maybe a big goal, this is the most common one, a main goal is weight loss. So your main goal is weight loss. You want to maybe feel good, you want to feel confident, you want to feel proud, you want to feel energized. I picked that one because I know that's so common. Whether you have 50 pounds to lose or you have 5 pounds to lose. Another one, which is a goal for me, is organized, clean home. versus something which I've struggled with over the last couple of years with small kids is struggling to keep it tidy, too much clutter, just overwhelmed with all the stuff. So the main goal is organized, clean home. So what I want to feel from that, what I would feel from that is more of a sense of calmness, like I have my shit together, that I love my space and I love being in my space. So that's sort of a second step to that. You know your main goals and then how you want to feel, because that actually helps in the motivation aspect, how you want to feel. So before we decide on small goals, you do that step. So then next you can pick some small goals. I'll show you what I like to do. I don't do this every month, but occasionally, and I just looked back and I saw, so I do like a web diagram. Can you guys see there? So this is my morning time. I've talked about this before if you guys have watched these Thursday lives. I love getting up early before the kids, at least try to give myself an hour if I can. If you want to start doing this, but it seems like getting up an hour before them seems too crazy, then just focus on 15 minutes to yourself before. But ultimately, if you can work up to an hour before, so I highly recommend this, especially if you have goals, if you want to make changes in your life, I recommend this. So normally I wouldn't have time to just kind of doodle and do stuff like that, but this is one of the things I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes doing something like that at the start of a month. So this was from probably like a few years ago. I had found it. And March again is when I really I'm motivated to kind of dial it in and work on some new goals. So this is one for this month that I'm working on. So let's see. So I've got my goals. One of them is a fit body. And I've got, so this next month, so I put tangible goals in there, or measurable goals. How many pounds I want to lose, that I want to feel great. So sort of the outcome from that, how I'm going to feel. And then from there, so you start with each goal and then you break it down. So you just kind of, it's almost like a brainstorming session. I've got a few different things that you can do for getting prepared for your next month. This is one of them. So this is one way I love to do it. You can even just jot things down. Don't worry about making the first one pretty, because you might just kind of scribble things out, change things. And then if you want to, if you have time, you could, and if you want to make it pretty, you can just redo it and then kind of stick it up in your closet or wherever you'll see it. So with the fit body, I've got 2 liters of water per day. So that's a habit that I've kind of got that's kind of sticking. I still kind of need to make it, be mindful of it. Meal prep and plan is a big focus to that, is important. 30-minute daily workouts. So that's a habit that was one of my February personal challenges. I had a cold and I got away for it for like a couple weeks. So it didn't really, it's partly stuck, but it's something I need to focus on for this next month as well. So I put daily, so I think I talked about this before as well. For me with workouts, I don't love an hour-long workout. Maybe you love to go to the gym and do an hour-long workout 3 to 4 times a week. I find personally for me, I need to have my days kind of the same. It makes it a lot easier to create something into a habit. So for me, and I posted about this yesterday, I used to love to work out at like 6 o'clock. I'd wake up early and that would be my morning time before anybody else woke up. And that for a lot of people is a great time to work out, because that's when, like, throughout the day, so many things can change from day to day, but generally our mornings stay the same. So you know that time from 5:30 to 6:30 or 5:30 to 6 or whatever is going to be the same. So you can create that into a habit. So I used to love doing that. Right now, I love my morning routine of journaling, and I've got a whole routine, planning. I listen to some different podcasts, maybe read sometimes. I've got a whole routine. Maybe I'll share that with you guys another day. And then if I'm ready to go and the kids are still asleep, then I dive into some work stuff like creating content, sending out emails and things like that. So I like to do my workouts later on. And I found in the last year or two, my ideal time to work out, I don't know if this is per connection on Instagram, my ideal time, I have sort of an increase in energy at about anywhere from 3 to 4 o'clock. And it's kind of a nice transition in the day. So the morning it's either kid time with my little guy, my 3-year-old, or it's work time. So usually that's my focus. And then at like 3:30, that's kind of the transition where it's like, okay, I'm going to hang out with my husband. My daughter's coming home, hang out with her. I'm put the work away for the day. So I find that's like a nice transition. It's like, okay, I'm going to do a quick 15 to 30 minute workout. Try to keep it like at least 20, 30 minutes. And you know what the workouts I'm doing right now? I can barely get through it. I'm just getting back to working out. You can get a really good workout in 20 minutes. I get a good sweat on. So that's kind of my thing. As long as I can get a really good sweat, get a good workout in. So I do 20 minutes, then I have my protein shake, then I have a shower, and I just kind of love that routine. And then after that, I am refreshed. I hang out with my family a little bit, and then after that, then I get supper ready. So I'm loving that. So maybe I'll talk about it now for a little bit. So I know that adding in exercise is a goal for so many of us. If that is your goal, or if that's one thing you're going to challenge yourself to do this next month, I'll give you a couple tips with that. So we keep getting cut off a little bit on Instagram, but if exercise is one of your goals for the next month, I'll give you some tips. So the most important things are figure out what you love to do. A lot of people say like strength training is more important than cardio. I personally love cardio. If I have some cardio in there every day, along with some strength training I'll try to do, then I'm more likely to do it. If I knew I was going to go to the gym and lift weights 4 days a week, then I probably wouldn't do it. So the most important thing is to figure out what you're going to like to do. I don't necessarily love the workouts. So right now I'm doing the Tone It Up app. So I'm doing those workouts. So I don't always necessarily love it, but I like it a lot more than, and I love the outcome of it, I guess. I like it a lot more than going to the gym and lifting weights, for example. So maybe you love a spin class. Maybe you love going to the gym, getting away from the kids, just having that time to yourself. Maybe you love lifting weights over cardio. So that's the first thing. I know in the winter it's a little bit less options. There's a lot more options in the summer. So that will help you to stick with it. What else did I want to say? For me, I find if I keep it shorter, if I commit to shorter amounts, then I'm more likely to stick with it. I tried out the Beachbody On Demand, the trial of that, and it was good too. There's a lot of workouts in there that are really intense, and they're 45 minutes or 60 minutes, and I find that I just wouldn't be motivated to do that if I know so the Tone It Up ones, so this is what I personally am liking. A lot of them are like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So if I was to do a 15-minute one, usually I tell myself I'm going to try to like do stuff for like 30 minutes, but if I'm not really feeling it, I'll put on a 15-minute one, do that. I know it's just going to be quick, and then usually by the time I'm done the 15-minute one, I've got energy, feeling good, and then for the next 15 minutes I'll grab some hand weights, or I'll do some push-ups or sit-ups. So I love that method of doing it. And then again, like I said, with keeping it sort of a daily habit, I know some days I'll be busy, some days I'm not going to fit it in, so I'm going to give myself some flexibility with I can miss 1 to 2 days, so I'm finding that works for me. So we're on to picking small goals. So we were talking about that. So some other small goals. These are small goals for some of them are for me personally that I do from time to time. So just to give you guys some ideas, 2 liters of water per day. Challenge yourself with that. One trick I found with that is a glass jug of water. Fill it up in the morning. Put it on the counter. If you're on the go, have a nice water bottle. I mentioned in my stories the other day, certain water bottles or certain cups, I don't know if you find this, you drink it a lot more quickly. If it's got a straw, that I drink a lot more. I've got a tall glass water bottle, then I drink that a lot quicker. So sounds weird, but there's find a water bottle that you love, or a glass or whatever, and use that. But having that visible on the counter in front of me, or having the water bottle always beside me, is a reminder, and you can sort of track how much you've drank. So another small goal you might want to focus on, getting to bed earlier. If you're not getting enough sleep, that's super important with your energy, with your cravings, with weight loss, with mood, everything. So getting to bed earlier, having a good bedtime routine, reading 30 minutes per day. This is something I've been focusing on too. So I've got so many different things I want to do. I've struggled to narrow it down to one or two. This is another good one, cutting sugar for 30 days. If you find you have a lot of added sugar in your diet, refined sugar, maybe too many carbs, challenge yourself with something like that. Maybe exercise. So I talked about that. How much exercise, like what's that going to look like for you? Is it going to be 3 days a week, a certain amount, or is it going to be 20 minutes almost every day? Waking up earlier is another small goal, and implementing a morning routine. That's actually one that's like the main one that I'm going to be focusing on for this month, is waking up by 5:30. I would, even getting up at 5 would be nice, but I'm going to, my challenge to myself is to wake up at 5:30 every day. Part of that challenge also then is getting to bed at 9:30, turning the lights out at 9:30. Sleep, I find if I don't get enough sleep, even a half hour less sleep, I don't have as much energy. I'm not as motivated. I eat more carbs. So along with that, waking up earlier is getting to bed earlier. Decluttering might be your challenge for the next month. That was something I did in January, February. I actually took like a week. So this you could do as a month challenge, or you can set out a week where that's your main focus. You're not going to really stress about anything else. You're not going to stress about meal planning and meal prepping, like about adding in any new habits like that, working out. But take a week, or take even a couple days, and work on decluttering, getting rid of things. That's what I did. So I did about a week of that, and that had a spiral effect, a ripple effect. I'll talk about that a little bit as well. So when you're picking your small goal, think about what's gonna, if you achieve it, or even at the end of the 30 days, or if you even achieve it doing that even in just one day, if you achieve that, what goal is going to help make a ripple effect? For me, decluttering my house had quite a ripple effect, where I felt my house was so much more organized, so much more decluttered, and then I wanted to do this. It just provided energy and motivation. Another one, weekly meal prep, weekly meal planning. So these are different ideas for your challenge that you could challenge yourself on for the next month. A no alcohol challenge too. If you are, I sometimes go in the spurt where it's like you want a glass of wine after dinner, and then it becomes, I think we lost Instagram. Yeah, we did. Oh well. So put down. So yeah, if you're in a rut with that, where you're having wine every night, and then you just feel like every night you need a glass of wine, if it's becoming too much, and also you want to dial in your nutrition, your weight, if you want to dial things in a bit, you might want to challenge yourself with that. So those are some examples. I talked about the web, trying to do a web diagram. It's a way of brainstorming it and figuring out what your main goals are. So I did this, and in the past I would do, so this is an example of a past one, everything that I wanted to do, what I wanted to, how I wanted things to look. But then it's like, you can do things all this for a couple days. Actually, you can't even do all that for a couple days. It's just way too much, and then you're just gonna end up achieving none of it. What's the quote? I got too many papers here. I've got a good quote somewhere. Sorry. Okay, when everything is important, nothing is important. I should have been able to remember that. It's pretty simple. So when everything's important, nothing's important. So on here, I didn't really distinguish anything as my main focus. So really nothing ended up sticking. But so even this is this sort of brainstorming everything that I would ideally want to achieve. But from here, if you do that, from here, pick 1 or 2 that's going to be your main focuses. So you could still, what is it? So I could still, like with the organized, tidy house, like declutter, purge items per week. I could still do that, but that's not going to be, and that is one of my things. I've got a bag in the corner of my bedroom. Anytime I see something that we can get rid of, I throw it in there, and then I take it to the thrift store about once a week or once every 2 weeks. So that's not my main focus, but it is writing it here. It is still kind of on my mind that's something that I can do. So it's nice writing it all out. It doesn't mean that you have to just ignore it completely. It can still be something that you do, but it's not your main focus. Pick 1 or 2 things that it's going to be like a non-negotiable. You're going to do it. You're challenging yourself for the 31 days, and you're going to do it. So try that out. What else did I want to say? I think I had a couple more tips. Take a sip of coffee. So web diagram, pick 1 or 2 goals. The ripple effect, I talked about that, figure out, and that does happen. You might think, okay, I'm just going to add in 2 liters of water a day, or I'm just going to add in 30 minutes of exercise, but I want to do all these other things. You'll find, just sort of without even having to challenge yourself on it, that you're going to eat better. So say you add in exercise and that's your challenge. You're going to drink a lot more green smoothies. You're going to eat more salads without it even having to be a huge focus. So think about what's going to give you that ripple effect as well. So another exercise is jotting down, and this is another good one. When you have time, you need to have quiet time without the kids, without your husband talking to you. And I love to do this too. So think about what is your perfect daily routine. What's your perfect day look like? What does the perfect routine look like? So if you were to achieve to be the person that you want to be, to achieve the goals you want to achieve, what would your perfect routine look like that would get you there? So I'll just go through a little bit, some examples. So morning routine, don't hit the snooze button. So this is kind of mine. Morning routine, awake by 5:30. I wake up and I drink a large glass of water. I don't hit the snooze button. If I'm struggling with that, there's the 5-second rule by, I think it's Mel Robbins. Google it actually it's simple. If your alarm goes off, this is a struggle for you. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you have to get up. Then there's something, it's kind of like a little mind trick. When you count down and you don't even think about it, you just count down and you get up, then it works a lot better than if it goes off and you're like, should I go to sleep, or should I stay up, or should I get up? Don't look at your phone. This is one of my things. Perfect morning routine. Don't look at the phone and just scroll mindlessly, Instagram, Facebook. Get to what I want to get to. Make the most of that time. So I drink my large glass of water, I have my coffee brewing, I have my protein bar in the freezer that I made before, all ready to go, so I can be quiet. So I enjoy that. I get my journal out, I gratitude journal, I journal some different things, what I want to achieve. Maybe do some affirmations. Sort of with affirmations, you can verbalize it. I find I don't really do that, but if you just write down, say you have a certain weight you want to be at, or something like that, or a certain thing you want to achieve, write it as if you have achieved it already. So that's what I mean by affirmations. There's different ways you can go about that. You could do meditation. So these are some of my examples of a perfect routine. Meditation, or read or listen. So this is the morning routine. Get my planner out and plan out my day, and how I want my day to look. Think about that. So my perfect day. So mainly with my perfect day, perfect routines, I mainly focus on my morning routine and my night routine, because in between things change, fluctuate so much. Actually within there, I would add in my workout routine. Like I had told you already before, the 3:30, that whole routine, smoothie after, shower after, and then a night routine, my ideal night routine. is there's a whole thing, and I think this is what they call it. They call it saying goodnight to your kitchen. So just when you turn out the lights in your kitchen, having it just clean, the counters clean, it's a fresh start for the next day. You are proactive rather than reactive. And I can go into that. That can relate to so many different areas. That's just one example, being proactive rather than reactive. With food, be proactive rather than reactive. So having an idea of what you're going to eat. So I'm going off track a little bit, but having an idea of what you're going to eat, maybe having some things prepped or having groceries bought is proactive versus being reactive, where it is 5 o'clock, you're hungry, you're tired, and you're trying to figure out what you're going to eat. So it doesn't really take any more time, but with so many different areas of your life, if you can be proactive with it rather than reactive. So a small example is what I just mentioned in my ideal routine, my ideal nightly routine is where I have my kitchen clean, no dishes on the counter, everything ready, maybe the coffee set for the morning with the timer on. I'm proactive rather than reactive in the morning. Things are dirty, I'm in a rush, I want to get it tidied up. Doesn't take any more time, I'm going to be washing those dishes anyways. Might as well be proactive with it. So yeah, you can think about so many different areas where you can be proactive rather than reactive. So my ideal night routine, so everything's kind of ready in the kitchen, ready for the next morning. My protein, I have a go-to breakfast, my protein bars, especially for when I wake up early. So making sure that's ready, having the coffee set, whatever your quick breakfast is, maybe that's a smoothie, knowing what you're going to have. So having sort of a wind down routine starts earlier. This is my ideal routine. Kids to bed on time, have a certain time, have them to bed, read for 30 minutes in the evening, then maybe listen to a podcast, and then be in bed by a certain time. So for me, that's 9:30 right now is kind of my focus with getting up early. And be prepared with, maybe if you're working out in the morning, being proactive could be being prepared with workout clothes ready to go. So all of these things, set your intention for what your next day is going to look like. And it makes it more likely that you're going to achieve that. So if you're just joining on, I was just mentioning, one exercise you can do is to think about what your perfect daily routine is. Mainly morning routines and night routines, is what I focus on most. And, I find that really helps. So, what else did I want to mention? I'm just gonna look at my notes, see if I missed anything. Ripple effect. Yeah, perfect day, perfect routine exercise. Another quote I wanted to mention too, if you don't want it bad enough, you'll find an excuse. If you do want it bad enough, I think I'm paraphrasing this a little bit. If you do want it bad enough, you'll find a way. So this is more of a mindset thing. I've noticed that with some people, how do I say this? Also, when I say this, I'm saying it out of that I've been there before, so I resonate. But if I try to make suggestions for some people, or even internally, if you think about like, okay, I want this, but this is in my way. This isn't my way. I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of that. Which I've been there too. Then it's not going to happen. So look at your mindset. Some people might have more struggles, and there might be more obstacles than others. So I understand that too. But if you do want something, if you want to achieve it, I see Morgan's on. She's doing awesome with this, and she's inspiring to me with not letting her obstacles or her get in the way of achieving her goals. But what was I getting at with that? So yeah, even though you might have some obstacles, if you want it bad enough, switch your mindset to, often we can just think about like, our mindset just goes right to how it's like, why it's not going to work, why we can't do this, why we can't do that. And I've noticed with some clients too, some clients are one way, some clients are another way with this mindset thing. I'll say, well, how about, I'll give suggestions. How about, would this be a possibility? Would this be a possibility? And then I'll give out a few different things. And for some of them, I know that every single time there's going to be a reason why that doesn't work. And again, I don't want to, I've been there as well. So I'm not judging, but I know that this is something where if you do want to change, you have to look at this mindset part. So instead of just right away going to why it can't work, try to problem solve, try to figure out. Morgan says, my motto is be the woman you want your daughters to be. Oh, I love that. It gets me out of bed. Oh, that's awesome. Be the woman you want your daughters to be. Yeah, I love that. One of my quotes that I put in my head all the time is do what's right, not what's easy, which it's such a simple quote. I think I like yours better. But that's one thing where it's like, do what's right, not what's easy. So even if it's like getting up to do a workout, do what's right, not what's easy. So yeah, I love that one. So yeah, try to, first of all, if you are doing that, if you want to do something, if you want to achieve a goal, so our focus right now is like, what are we going to challenge ourselves to do for March? If your go-to is like, I know I can't do it because of this circumstance, I can't do it because of this. First of all, notice that you're doing that. And then second of all, try to shift that instead of just having those obstacles being there, like making excuses, shift it to problem solving. How can I make it work? How possibly can I make it work? Maybe there's some things where it is like you actually can't, but often you can find a way if you want it bad enough. So I kind of went all different areas today, but my challenge to you is to pick, if you are wanting to make some changes right now, like I said before, first of all, make sure you know what your big goals are, and then possibly like jot it down, do something like this, and then from there, pick a small habit, a small goal that you're going to challenge yourself to do for this month. It can be something as little as 2 liters of water per day. If you're, that's a lot better than giving yourself a whole bunch of different things to focus on to change for this month. Focusing on one thing. And then you'll notice at the end of this month, you'll notice that had a ripple effect likely, but you'll notice that is something that you just do subconsciously now. You're drinking a lot of water. That's helping you to lose weight. It's helping you to feel better. It's giving you more energy. And you'll notice that for the next month, that's already something you're doing and you can build on that. So the next month you add in a challenge of a new small goal. And then over the multiple years, you'll notice that you really grow and evolve, and you make big changes. So, one last thing I'll mention too, I just started doing Mama Charged bundles. So if you are wanting to sort of up level things, if you're not in my membership or programs, if you've been in past programs, you can go back and look at recipes and things like that, like the cleanse or the method program. If you're in the membership, you've got the content there. But if you're not in that and you want something, you want some meal plans, you want something to help motivate you, help you feel organized, have everything done for you, I've got Mama Charged bundles. So for the people that don't really want to be in a membership that's monthly recurring payments, there's a Mama Charged bundle. So it's a 4-week, so it's our March membership pretty much, except that it's a one payment and it's not recurring payments. And I believe it is $24.97. So it's 4 meal plans, and I added on a bonus meal plan. So it's actually 5-week meal plans. And then we have our Detox Your Home series, which is videos and ebooks, and it helps to get rid of, it's lots of DIY things. We go from every area of the home, the kitchen, the bathroom, cosmetics, skincare, hair care, everything like that. How you can detox your home using mostly, well, not with the skincare, and cosmetics, but using mostly ingredients you have in your home. How to get rid of the toxic chemicals. So that's sort of a bonus to that. So that's a Mom Recharge bundle. Maybe I'll put that in the comments if you want to check that out. So if you are watching the recording or watching live, have any questions, I'll come back to it and just let me know. I think that is it. We lost Instagram about half an hour ago, or about 20 minutes ago. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you like this, and I'm excited to see the changes that you're going to make for March. Bye, guys.